Most software engineers will end up having to work a 9 to 5 for the rest of their lives, being miserable without wanting to, sort of like a slave. And I have come to this conclusion after operating a startup accelerator for over 1.5 years and having spoken with and conversed and interviewed over 1,000 software engineers. Some of these interviews lasted less than 5 minutes, others lasted over 45 minutes. And out of those 1,000 interviews, I have worked with dozens on a one-on-one basis and have coached dozens of software engineers. A few of these software engineers ended up becoming multimillionaires within a span of a year. And throughout this entire time, throughout this entire journey, I have tried my best to sort of formulate and understand what makes a successful software engineer. Is it their tech stack? Is it their specific experience? Is it the school they went to? What is it in particular that allows one software engineer to be more successful than the other when it comes to entrepreneurship and being an owner or a business individual? And the conclusion I have come to is that it really comes down to two things. First and foremost, one's mindset, and second, their coachability. Their ability to be coached. It's not their tech stack, it's not their experience, it's none of these things on their own. Maybe a combination of these things lead to one's ability to be coached or leads to one's mindset, but in terms of identifying what it is specifically, it's just these two things. And the reason for today's video is to say that most software engineers watching these type of videos, especially the ones that end up commenting like the things that you see on your screen right now, whether it's a negative comment, whether it's a personal attack on me or whatever the case, most of these individuals will never, ever see success in their entire lives, or at least success in a way that they want to define it. Every single one of these individuals believe that they're this dormant genius version of themselves that's one day gonna suddenly awake and crush everything. But that's simply not the case, and I have seen it time and time again. Now, I'm in a position where I get to choose who I work with. And after interviewing thousands of candidates, I, for the most part, was extremely successful with identifying the best people that I want to work with. But of course, a few bad apples slipped through the cracks. And this video is going to be talking about those bad apples. And really, if you right now are a mid to senior software engineer and you're at a 9 to 5 and you want to learn how to make an income outside of a 9 to 5 to achieve time, location, and financial freedom, then this video is specifically for you. So watch and learn. A lot of these bad apples had one thing in common, and it was that they took no accountability whatsoever. And they were extremely, extremely difficult to coach. Meaning, if let's say an objective was to be met, so I put a KPI of 100 outreaches a day or 500 outreaches a day, these individuals had every single excuse in the book as to why they weren't able to do that. And not once did they ever meet a proper KPI. Now, compared to an actual successful individual who ended up making it, for example, John, one of our founders, who ended up doing close to $3 million in revenue within a span of pretty much 11 months, he never once complained about any of the KPIs and always tried his best to meet them. Occasionally, if it was a little bit off, he had a proper excuse for it, but not once did he not try to get it done. And not once did he think he was too smart for it or too good to do the work in the trenches. However, when it came to the software engineers, and I'm going to classify these individuals as the ambitious but lazy individuals, who, as I said before, will forever be stuck in a 9 to 5 till the day they pass away, these individuals always thought that they knew better, even though they were entering something that they had never done before. And these individuals were extremely difficult to coach, and they always had an excuse as to why they didn't do a particular thing that they had to do. And the reason the mindset came along is because they never took accountability. It was always somebody else's fault. It was never their own. And if anything went wrong, they would always try to put the blame on somebody else. And these same individuals, whenever you observe them in a 9 to 5 setting, they always complain about their job, but they never actively did anything to be put in a better position. And I say this, I want to emphasize on this point because a lot of these software engineers are cancerous. Imagine a cancerous cell, even if it's just one cancerous cell. If you don't treat it and if you don't exterminate it, if you don't remove it, it will spread to your other cells until the day comes where the entire body dies. And these software engineers act the same way. They integrate themselves into various communities. It could be your coworker right next to you, could be somebody on Reddit in a forum, could be somebody on a YouTube comment. And these individuals tend to be the most vocal. They tend to say things that get people to rile up. They tend to say things that is very, I want to say, anecdotal. And it's very, very polarizing. You'll often see comments on YouTube videos primarily where the creator such as myself could be sharing something and an individual might come in and say, oh, this doesn't work, or this doesn't work because of XYZ, or this 100% doesn't work, or this never works for anybody, and all these type of negative connotation, negative talk. And people might see this and agree with it, but it's extremely important that you learn how to identify if something is fugazi or not, meaning if an individual is ambitious but lazy and that type of an individual, or if it actually comes from a good place. Because these individuals tend to suck, like a vampire, the energy and life out of the regular software engineers and out of the software engineers who are actually meant for entrepreneurship. The reason I'm so passionate about this is because I have worked with so many software engineers, so many talented individuals, where the only thing really holding them back are themselves. And it's their limiting beliefs. And as long as they have a roadmap, as long as they know exactly what they have to do, and as just somebody like me there to guide them, they are able to achieve a significant amount of progress in very little time. And it just sucks when I see a prime candidate, somebody who has so much potential, not end up giving entrepreneurship a try, or not end up getting to where they're supposed to get to, not end up realizing their true potential, because they ended up listening to somebody else. Most often than not, that somebody else might be in a position of power or authority, but once again, that's the ambitious but lazy software engineer. So if you're watching this, understand this. Most software engineers, most of them, will be stuck in a 9-to-5 for the rest of their lives, never being able to get out. Not because they're dumb or they're not smart enough to do it or because entrepreneurship is overly difficult. No, because they are not coachable and they do not have the proper mindset for it. Understand that if you are coachable and you have the proper mindset, it doesn't matter how bad you are technically, it doesn't matter about any of these things, there will come a time where you will be able to do it. So main takeaway is as follows. Be extremely careful with who you listen to on the internet, even myself included. Do your due diligence on me as well. Be extremely careful with who you listen to, especially when it comes to big career decisions as a software engineer, be it with regards to quitting a job, landing a new job, or getting into entrepreneurship. Because most individuals that you will come across do not live the life that you want to live. In essence, I want to end this video with the following. Only listen to people whose life you would ideally want to have. If it's a software engineer stuck in a 9-to-5 and they're pessimistic and you do not want to live the life that they lived, you do not listen to them, nor do you take their advice. And of course, vice versa. And if you truly are interested in actually making a change and actually learning how to become a founder and go from an employee to a founder, then you should definitely check out the free webinar link in the description below, where I'm going to uncover exactly how I went step by step from an employee to a founder. It's the first link in the description below and it's completely free. So make sure you register for that. As always, thank you so much for watching and have a good one.